This is 10 Minutes With, and we're here at Aftershock 2019, and I'm here with Danielle.
Hello.
Tony.
Hello.
From Dead Posey. How are you two doing today?
Fabulous. How are you?
So we're going to start with a question that we ask a lot of our people that come onto our show. What is your first memory of music?
I'm going to say my first memory would have been, as a young child, my parents blasting Metallica in the van while we were playing. We had to go to our soccer game, so they'd pump us up by blasting that. So Enter Sandman, all that fun stuff. So that's my first memory.
Shout out to Metallica.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing next year, 2 sets.
Oh, my parents already know they're stoked.
Announced.
Pre-ordered
They're
tickets.
coming whether we're playing or not.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't come when we played, but they're going to go next year for Metallica.
How about you, Tony?
I think probably when I was a very wee child, like when I was like literally 1 year old or less, my dad, it's like a very hazy, it might be because he told me about doing this and it's become like a secondary memory, but this is not a lie. This did happen. My dad would play the Beatles' Revolver, which is still my number one favorite album of all time, and like drum on like my back. Maybe he was like burping me or something like that. And I actually do, that album has such this very, very deeply ingrained thing in my cells. So I think it would be that, or seeing Michael Jackson in like early in the 80s, at a live show in Detroit where I'm from. Yeah, that one I actually do kind of remember. Yeah.
I actually just remembered also, because they loved Metallica so much, they taught us the prayer because they were trying to teach us to be good children and be religious. So we did now I lay me down to sleep.
I think Metallica had that in mind, that this was going to help parents teach their kids what prayers to say at night when they wrote that in Enter Sandman.
How did you two meet?
We met, 7 years ago, mutual friends, and been hanging out ever since.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you had a band that you started that's sort of separate. I was doing another band, and the paths kind of crossed, and then I was changing my musical thing, getting out of that band. You had gotten out of that band, and we're like, hey, maybe we should do some music together. And that was about 3 years ago that we started kind of writing songs for Dead Posey, and that's really been all we're doing for a while now. Yeah.
We are around each other 24/7. Maybe it's not good for most relationships, but I think it works for us, right? Best friends, do everything.
Do your songwriting together?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we write everything together. We record,
cook together,
we do.
sleep together.
Whoa, now.
We do everything together.
Well, you know each other's next moves that way.
We really do. Sometimes it causes fights because we assume, right? We assume certain things are going to happen. Then
I don't know about you. Maybe you do. I don't assume anything.
So you have a new EP that came out. What's not new?
Right.
Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, well, we have an EP that came out last year on Sumerian, the Freak Show EP. A couple of the songs we had sort of had as singles like before that came out, but it was mostly new stuff at the time. We toured last year and did some shows this year supporting that. We put a new single out a few months ago called Fire Burnin', but really we're working on a new EP right now. Got about 4 or 5 songs written for it in the various stages of recording that we hope to release this year or very soon.
Very excited to get this next EP out because we've kind of, as most artists do, trying to keep the evolve thing going. So we've evolved into some electrics, some like electronics and stuff like that to go with the bluesy kind of vibe. Would that be a good way to explain it?
That would, Danielle.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we're
You're like looking at me like,
no, I'm listening.
What are you talking about?
I'm completely raptured by what you're saying. We've always been big fans of like 9 Inch Nails, Manson, who's playing here today, The Kills, Depeche Mode's another one of my favorite bands. So Dead Posey, first EP doesn't have a lot of that stuff, but we're little tinges of that on the new one. It's still Dead Posey though. It's still hopefully what people dig about it. But we're bringing some new elements in for the new stuff, yeah.
So I was going to get into influences.
I'm done.
There we go. What about you?
It's the same.
Same.
Yeah. But we still have our differences. But yeah, with
Okay.
those ones in particular, those are the same.
Yeah, we share. I mean, you love Shaky Graves. That's a new act you're really into.
More, yeah, more chill stuff, Shaky Graves.
St. Agnes, awesome.
Yeah, St.
They're new
Agnes
bands,
is
right?
a sick rock band in the UK. Check them out.
We will.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And then I like your guys' style.
Thank you.
I noticed your jacket today.
Yes.
What's on the back of that?
I actually had an old shirt.
It's
and
a custom job here.
La Lune.
Show
It's
the
kind of
world.
like a tarot card looking
I thought it was a tarot
thing, but I
card.
sewed it on myself, so.
So if you weren't playing music, what would you be doing?
That's a tough question.
I mean, something artistic probably. I feel like I go down too deep of rabbit holes not to be doing something artistic. I've done the 9-to-5 jobs and the bullshit jobs that everyone else has to do, so I don't want to ever think about having to do that again.
And what's your dream collaboration?
Do you want to take this?
Oh, man.
With that, like
I mean,
Dead Posey?
There's so many. I feel like there's so many amazing artists. I mean, I can just list a bunch of fucking people right now, you know, between the Kills, Manson, Zombie, Depeche Mode. Are they still doing anything?
Yeah.
They're still doing stuff. The Cure. I mean, The Cure would be awesome.
Anyone we like would be like a dream.
Yeah, anybody that I put on a playlist, I feel like I would love to do a collaboration with. So there's a big list.
Someone was saying good set. I was giving a thumbs up. Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many great bands out there. I'm more thinking of like who would be awesome to tour with too. I mean, like Muse would be incredible, and half of the bands playing here. Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough call. I mean, really, like, we're lovers of all different types of music. I mean, I do something with an orchestra someday. You know what I mean? Like, I love classical music. Like I said, I love film scores. So. Exactly. We do S&M, Dead Posey, S&M, yeah.
Okay, and I know we're going to wrap it up, but where are you headed after this? Are you going to check out any music today?
Well, we have to talk to a few more of you fine people here, but I think the first band we're actually gonna be able to see is Manson, so.
Just gonna have, yeah. With these festivals, sometimes it's hard to actually see any other bands. We're so excited to like go, like, look at all these great bands, but then you're running around and like, you don't get to see anyone. So we're hoping to see some of the acts today. Yo.
Thank you very much. And again, this was 10 Minutes With at Aftershock 2019, and here with Dead Posey.